Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel, Season 3. Listen, we're going to get right to it. Last week, this time I came on the air. I was pumped up. I was enthused. I was talking about how great it is to, on a Tuesday morning or a Monday morning, to come out here and talk to you all when the Dallas Cowboys lose. Well, all that energy that I had last week, I have the complete opposite energy this time around. Both my teams, the Eagles and the Jets, let me down this weekend. It was a horrible football weekend for me. I mean, it was one to forget. The Eagles just laid an egg. Good afternoon to you, Skip. They just laid an egg in Dallas. What may have been the eliminator game between the two, Eagles go out there, and more importantly, the head coach, Doug, goes out there and talk about how he guarantees a win. And then the Eagles go out there and just lay, not just an egg, but a rotten egg. It was just downright disgusting of a performance that they put up. I can't say enough about Dallas. They came out, they were prepared, they were ready to defend their house. They were ready to make sure that the Eagles do not come in there and have a win. It wasn't like they did anything special. I mean, Dak was Dak. Zeke, he did have 100-plus yards on 22 carries. Amari Cooper, who had a bomb quad, he came in, he had 100-plus yards. But it wasn't nothing spectacular. It was just that they got the job done, did what they were supposed to do, stuck to the game plan, and the Eagles did nothing. Nothing at all. You know, Deshaun Jackson is a huge part of their offense. But with one man down, you cannot allow that from you throwing downfield. When are they going to throw the ball downfield? Come out and tell me that Wentz is hurt. Because what the Eagles did was unacceptable. You're making a playoff run, a playoff push. This is for the division lead. A division lead. You already got bad losses to Detroit and Minnesota. And then you turn around and lose pathetically 37-10 to a team that was on a 3-game losing streak. Just downright awful. If those of you who've been following me, the Eagles is no longer on the banister. They're on the floor. They're replaced by the Knicks. They have been replaced by the Knicks. The Eagles is on the floor. They're a game away from going ice fishing. They are. What they did on Sunday night on primetime national TV was disgusting. The only good thing about that game that the Eagles can hold their hat on, that they didn't look as bad as my other team, the New York Jets. Because what the Jets did last night was minor leaguish. That was USFL. XFL. Sam Darnold, the future of this team, the second-year quarterback out of USC, was heard on the sidelines, said he's seen ghosts. Let me repeat that. He said he's seen ghosts. Or he saw ghosts. How pathetic is that? You on Monday night, you coming off of one of the best wins in recent history for the franchise. What you did against the Dallas Cowboys the week before was just great theater. And then you come out last night and allow the Patriots to put up a Patrick Ewing on you. And yes, you finger roll and come up with goose eggs. 33-0. The Patriots found every way they could possibly can to score. While we, the Jets, did absolutely nothing. 4 interceptions, fumbles, just absolutely nothing. That was a pathetic game. That was embarrassing. That was the worst performance of the year by any team. I mean, it's one thing if you're a bad team. Miami's a bad team. So, okay, they get shut out. The Jets is not a bad team. They got quality players. Le'Veon Bell is a top 10 running back in this game, if not top 5. Sam Darnold has a decent future. The defense is not a bad defense. I don't know where they were last night. They definitely didn't show up last night. Between the Eagles and the Jets, they ruined my whole weekend. It was pathetic of what I watched in both games. Sunday night game, I'm getting home from work, ready to go watch the game. I'm excited. Talked a little smack with some Cowboy fans. Then Monday night, I'm home early. Prime time, the Jets. When's the last time the Jets? Well, it was on Monday night against Cleveland, I believe. Nothing. I said it before. Who is Adam Gase? Why is he even here? What is the game plan, Gase? You're at home, for crying out loud. What is the game plan? What we witnessed last night at MetLife Stadium was horrendous. It did not look like a professional football team was ready to play. Yes, Donald was spooked. He said he saw a ghost. What kind of crap is that? Just awful. My two teams let me down. I had to vent. I had to get that out the way. On another note, kudos to the Patriots. I mean, all they do is just do what they do. I wake up this morning, they make a trade for a wide receiver from the Atlanta Falcons. People say, why does other teams always want to help out the Patriots? It's not that teams want to help out the Patriots. The Patriots is the only team in the league that take chances on people who's a little shady and also willing to give up draft picks for any player. For any player. Listen, they're led by a quarterback that was drafted in the 6th round. Let that sink in for a second. And he's made 9 Super Bowl visits. He's 6-3 in that time. And this is a 6th round quarterback. So they don't even have first round picks on their lineup. And if so, they're very late. They don't even have rookies who have extended contracts. Why? Because Belichick believes that he can win with anybody. That he can get the best out of anybody. So kudos to the Patriots. They did what they had to do. They pick up Mohamed Sanu, a wide receiver that's going to pay off dividends. No surprise there. They don't care. They give up draft picks all the time. They don't need them. They just work with whoever they get the best out of them. After 3-4 years, bring in somebody else. Get the best out of them for 3-4 years, bring in somebody else. That's Belichick's style. You know, I talk about Tom Brady being the GOAT as the quarterback. The real GOAT might be Bill Belichick. Because outside of Brady, outside of Vinatieri, the kicker, and outside of maybe Gronk, really there's nobody on that team that played on that team 5 years or more is going to the Hall of Fame. Other than Brady, Gronk, and Belichick. Think about that for a second. As we move on, Lamar Jackson, I said it a couple of weeks ago, we're looking at Michael Vick 2.0. He went up against my leading candidate for MVP and Russell Wilson. Went out there, showed out, got the game ball, got the win, distanced himself from the rest of the pack in the division. Looks like Baltimore's going to run away with that division. Excellent game by Lamar Jackson. He's a dual threat. He can throw it. He can run it. I like what I'm seeing with Lamar Jackson. He's giving us the oohs and ahs, but more importantly, he's proving those doubters that said he need to change position because he wouldn't make it as a quarterback. And he just may take his team to the AFC Championship game at the rate he's going. Big win for him. He's putting his name into the hat for MVP, among others. I'm not saying he's a top 3 choice, but he is putting his name in that hat. Excellent game by them. The Ravens look like they're off to a good start. They're 5-2. You got Cleveland and Pittsburgh at 2-4. It's going to take a lot for them to catch up to the Ravens. I don't see the Ravens slowing down anytime soon. Listen, San Francisco, one of the only 2 teams left that's undefeated between them and the Patriots. They were involved in a snooze fest against the Chicago Bears. But you know what? They came away victorious, 9-0. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you get the win as long as you get the win. I'll take an ugly win over a beautiful loss any day. Any day. So kudos to the 49ers. That defense, very impressive. Last week, they shut down Jason Goff in the passing game to only 46 passing yards. Now they hold the Washington Redskins, shut them out. Great defense by them. Again, Garoppolo, not really the biggest fan of his, but I have to respect him. All he does is win. I think he's 10-2, 11-2, possibly 12-2 as a starter for his career, but all he does is win. And as he wins, San Francisco wins. As he wins, his confidence grows, the team's confidence grows, and the defense just gets better. I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco winds up going deep into the playoff. I don't have them representing the NFC in the Super Bowl, but you know what? They just might. They don't seem to be letting up. Whether it's an ugly game or a pretty game, they're coming out victorious. I think that they'll probably finish the season with 3 or less losses unless the wheels just falls off the truck. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Kudos to San Francisco for getting out there and getting after it. You know, I would be remiss. I said it on this show plenty of times, and I'll still say it. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the game. Is he great? Absolutely. Am I taking anything away from him? No, he is great. But I might have to rethink this. What he did this past Sunday was just phenomenal. He was 26 for 31, threw for 429 yards, had 5 touchdowns, and then ran one in. Unbelievable against an up-and-coming Oakland team. At least they think they are. But nevertheless, what a game by him. It doesn't matter who's in uniform this year for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is looking strong. Him and his new coach, some question whether they'll be on the same page to start the season. I guess he has answered those questions because Green Bay is looking like one of the top 3 teams in the league right now. They look like they're getting stronger, they're getting better, and eventually some of the injuries, those players is going to come back. You got to give credit to Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. They are doing their thing. I think they're one of the top 3 teams in the league. Again, 26 for 31, 429 yards, 5 touchdowns, and plus he ran one for a total of 6 that he was in on. Unbelievable game. Good win over Oakland. I mean, they're challenging San Francisco for that best team in the NFC. It's going to be a good race going down the stretch, but kudos to Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay for getting it done. The Rams, the defending NFC champions, I heard a joke on one of the sports stations. I can't remember who it was, but they said, if your team is in a slide, just play the Atlanta Falcons. Well, that's what happened for the Rams. It's funny, the Rams and the Cowboys were both on 3-game losing streaks, and they happened to win 37-10. Isn't that interesting? What a coincidence. But the win against Atlanta was significant because it's got Atlanta into a fire sale. After the loss, I'm surprised Dan Quinn is still holding on to his job. I have to be honest. I'm still surprised that Dan Quinn is holding on to his job. But anyway, I wake up this morning after the Jets got demolished by the Patriots. I get a text from a good buddy of mine, very good friend, that the Atlanta Falcons traded their number 2 wide receiver to the Patriots. To the Patriots. And that's what happens when a team gets beat by a team that's on a slide. I guess the Rams beating the Falcons has put the Falcons into fire sale mode. I look for the Falcons to maybe trade a few more players. Perhaps. And I'm telling you now, if I'm the New York Jets, you offer a 1st-round pick and a 3rd-round pick for Julio Jones. You need playmakers. The New York Jets need playmakers. They just cannot can the ball to Le'Veon Bell. Demaryius Thomas dropped a wide open pass that to me just told me what kind of game we was going to have. It showed me what kind of game we were going to have last night. If he makes that catch, maybe we're looking at a different outcome. Perhaps not 33-0. We need a number one receiver out there. Robbie Anderson is not a number one. Demaryius Thomas is not a number one. We need some receivers. Who can name the Jets tight end? I can't. If you can, type it. So contact Atlanta while they're on a fire sale and see if you can get Julio Jones. So the Rams get back to their winning ways. They're 4-3. They stay competitive in this NFC playoff race. I mean, listen, the NFC is like the NBA West. There's about 8 to 9 teams that really qualify or could be a playoff team. This is going to come down to the final weeks. It's going to be interesting when you got San Francisco that coming out of nowhere having a season that they haven't. Many people thought that when New Orleans, Drew Brees got hurt and Cam got hurt in Carolina, many thought maybe their season might be in jeopardy. Teddy Bridgewater is here to stay, folks. Sure, when Drew Brees come back, he's going to have to relinquish that spot. But Teddy Bridgewater could be playing and starting for a team next year. And when I say could be, he should be. He should be the starting quarterback on a team like the Chicago Bears. He should be the starting quarterback on a team like Jacksonville. He should be the starting quarterback for a team like Tennessee. I would have kept him in New York with the Jets as a starting quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is holding down the fort nicely for the New Orleans Saints. And take this. They didn't even have Kamara in their last game, and they still got the win. And Kamara is easily their best player outside of Drew Brees. Teddy Bridgewater is a starting quarterback in this league. In this league, he's a starting quarterback and should be looked upon as one. He's not a backup quarterback. So my top 5, my power rankings for the NFL, I got to give it to you in this order. Patriots, San Francisco, Green Bay, Kansas City, and perhaps the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, Kansas City, they lost Mahomes in a fluke play. They did get back to their winning ways after a 2-game losing streak. Some people question why they did that quarterback sneak. Some say tomato, some say tomato, some say Houston, some say Houston. Doesn't matter. If you healthy enough to play, you're healthy enough for a play. That's my bottom line. If you're healthy enough to play, you're healthy enough for a play. If you're not healthy enough for a play, then you're not healthy enough to play. So I'm not one to say they shouldn't have ran that play, whatever the case is. Hey, he could have been running from a defender and got hurt. It doesn't matter. Quarterbacks go on quarterback sneaks all the time, gets up, nothing happens to him. Take another snap, you got another play. Just one of those things that happen. But that's my power rankings. Patriots, San Francisco, Green Bay, Kansas City, and New Orleans. Baltimore, Seattle, Buffalo, they're trailing right there. Trailing right there. Games to watch coming up this week. Green Bay and Kansas City. That should be a good one. Green Bay on the road. Hopefully Mahomes can suit up. Carolina versus San Francisco. We wonder if the bye week is going to have something to do with Carolina's recent success. But San Francisco, can they keep this undefeated season going? Arizona going into New Orleans. Listen, the kid looks special. Kyler Murray looks special. He got to win it against the Giants. I know the Giants is not a top perennial team, but the fact that they went in there and got to win, that's all that matters. You got to win. He's going in. He's facing New Orleans. That should be a fun game to watch. And then I want to see how Philly bounce back. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They need to get back in the winning ways. So I think Buffalo is a good team for them. Buffalo doesn't have too much of a threat on offense. Their defense is strong. I think this would be a good test for Philly. In the event that Philly loses, they're eliminated. Plain and simple. Philly loses today, they are eliminated. They lose this weekend, they are eliminated, I should say. Moving right along, Major League Baseball today, you got the World Series, Houston and Astros versus Washington Nationals. I think the Astros is going to get that. We'll see. I say Astros in 5. But now I want to talk about the NBA. Because the NBA starts tonight. You got two games on. It would have been two good games if Zion did not get hurt. Zion, if you don't know, he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully, he'll be able to return and come back to form. You know, Zion is going to be a tremendous talent. But if I got any advice to Zion, the coaching staff, and to that organization, teach this young man some discipline. And what I mean by discipline, not just with his eating habits, but with his diet, with his workout regimen, and also just the way he plays the game. He does not have to make every play a top 10 player of the night. He just needs to lay it up once in a while. You know, people fail to realize, as much as we see Michael Jordan highlighting through the air, he broke his leg in his rookie year. He didn't try to power dunk everything. He didn't try to dunk everything. Some of Michael Jordan's nicest moves was when it just seemed like he was walking in air, come up underneath you, throw it off the backboard, reverse it. The one against the Lakers where he said, I won the slam dunk contest once upon a time like this, but I'm going to do it like this. You don't have to dunk it every time, and at least not with the power dunk. Zion, take it easy. Take it easy. But anyway, New Orleans, they're going into Toronto. Toronto will raise their banner tonight, get their rings. What a special season they had. Kawhi is no longer with them. Let's see how they bounce back and respond. It should be fun. It should be an exciting season for them. I still think that they're going to be a playoff team. I got them at number 5 for the season. I think that the residual effect will remain with them, and they'll be able to play ball and play well. And I think that they're well coached, and they have some talent over there. Siakam just got a new contract. They gave Kyle Lowry a 1-year extension. So some of the uncertainties is not going to be lingering. What they're going to do with this one, do with that one. So I look for them to come back and have a very solid year. I don't see them doing anything close to repeating, but I look for them to have a solid year. They should be in the top 8, and I got them number 5. The second game. The NBA ain't wasting no time with it. They're not leaving nothing up to our imagination. They're coming right out. They know how to start the season. They got the Lakers visiting the Clippers. Although Paul George is not going to be there for this opener, it still remains to be seen how these two teams is going to look playing one another. Some might say that the Lakers may have the advantage tonight, but you know what? You got the reigning Finals MVP. Just about everybody has Kawhi Leonard as the number 1 player in the game. Let's see how the number 1 player in the game respond to 2 top 10 players in the game, and that's LeBron and Anthony Davis. Let's see how he responds with that. Coaching staff-wise, I got Doc Rivers. I got the Edge. They're led by, the Clippers is led by Doc Rivers, Sam Cassell, and Tyronn Lue. And the Lakers are led by Frank Vogel, Jason Kidd, and Lionel Hollins. So I give the coaching staff the edge there. Should be a fun game. I'm curious to see how this goes, because if the Lakers lose tonight, I know they don't have Kuzma. That's not a good look. That's not a good look. If the Clippers win tonight, it's going to favor what everybody says about Kawhi Leonard being the number 1 player in the game. And I'm sure that matters to him somewhat. So it should be a great game. I know I'll be up for that. I want to give some early predictions when it comes down to the NBA. First of all, my MVP for this season, mark it down, Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers. I believe when we saw him last crying on the shoulders of Marc Gasol is a sign of a new beginning. A sign of a new Joel Embiid, someone who's going to take this sport much more serious. I think he's going to take his diet serious, take his craft serious. I like for him to come out. He's going to be playing alongside the ultimate professional and Al Horford. I think Al Horford would afford him some rest during the game and even some load management to keep him fresh. So I look for him to be at his best. He won't have to do as much. I think Al Horford will take a lot off of him. Maybe he'll take so much off of him in the game that maybe he wouldn't require as much load management. So I look for Joel Embiid to come back with vengeance. I like the 76ers' chances this year. So I look for Joel Embiid to be MVP for the season. Rookie of the year, I think with what we're seeing with Zion could be something to keep an eye on with this early injury. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. He can miss 16 to 20 games in that span. I think with that being said, you may have to give the edge to somebody else. I'm going with Ja Morant because he's going to have the ball in his hand. I would love to go with R.J. Barrett. I think he'd be a close third or second, but I'm going with Ja Morant for the Rookie of the Year. Coach of the Year, I'm going with Mike Malone in Denver. I think they'll be the number one seed. Denver will be the number one seed this year, the Nuggets. I'm going with Mike Malone as the Coach of the Year in the NBA. Most improved player. This one here, you got so many choices, but I'm giving it to Lonzo Ball. I think that he will play so loose this year. He'll have so much pressure relieved from him, not playing in the big lights in L.A., not having the pressure of Magic or LeBron or LeVar, his dad. I think getting away, getting a new beginning, being in the backcourt with another ultimate professional in Drew Holiday. I just think that this is going to be a great system for him. I can look for the Jason Kidd comparisons coming about. And if Zion is healthy enough, I think that 1-2 combination is going to be one to watch throughout the season. I look for Lonzo Ball to be among the leaders in assists, if not the leader. I like Lonzo Ball for most improved player. My sixth man, Lou Williams. When it's all said and done, when he retires, we're going to rename the trophy. If we can rename the Finals MVP trophy to the Bill Russell Award, we can rename this. Because there has not been a better sixth man in the history of the sport than Lou Williams. On a consistent basis. Yeah, there's been some sixth men that's had some outstanding careers or outstanding seasons, but for a career, this guy has had the best. Lou Williams will be my sixth man. And as far as my defensive player of the year, yeah, it's easy to go with a big man, Gobert, somebody like that, Giannis, somebody like that, maybe even Joel Embiid, especially if he's going to have an MVP season. But no, I'm going small. My defensive player of the year is going to be probably the peskiest player to ever play the game. That's Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley will be the defensive player of the year. At least he gets my vote. I'm looking for him to be the defensive player of the year. My top 8 playoff teams in the West, count them down. Denver, 1. Houston, 2. Clippers, 3. Portland, 4. Lakers, 5. Jazz, 6. Golden State, 7th. Spurs, 8th. In the East, Milwaukee, 1. Philly, 2. Boston, 3. Indiana, 4. Toronto, 5. Brooklyn, 6. 7th. Detroit, 8th. Miami. I would love to put my Knicks up there. I think they're at least a year or 2 away, but I think they will win 30-plus games this year. I believe that. It all depends on the point guard play of Dennis Smith Jr. and the coaching of Fizz. But yes, that's my top 8. And my finals will be the Los Angeles Lakers playing Philadelphia 76ers, and I have Philly with the win. Yes, let me repeat that. Philly will win the NBA championship this year, knocking off the Lakers. The only reason why I chose the Lakers over the Clippers is because I believe that Dwight Howard will be a factor when matched up against Zubac. I don't think Zubac will have the athleticism to keep up with Dwight Howard. It's not that Dwight Howard is going to be in an MVP form. Don't misunderstand me. But Dwight Howard's ability to get a rebound on one end and then affect and run down on the offense, maybe clear out a path, get the ball, dunk it, whatever. His athleticism is just going to be too much for Zubac. He is going to alter some shots. I just think that they don't have an answer for him. And if Harrell, the big man for the Clippers that come off the bench, Montrezl Harrell, comes off the bench, I think if he has to spend time defending him, it'll take away from his offense. So I do think that Dwight Howard is going to be an X factor, but he has to be a good teammate. You don't have to have a good season or a great season. He just has to be a good teammate. Come in there, no nonsense, no knuckleheadness. Just come in there being a professional, play ball, and I believe that he will be a difference maker against the Clippers just because of his athleticism, the ability to get the rebound and be the first one up the court, or an ability to maybe alter some shots around the basket. And also, if he's a good teammate and he's on the court, it's less that Anthony Davis has to spend time at the 5 at a position he doesn't want to be at. So I got Philly over the Lakers and this year's NBA Finals. Well, that's going to do it for Chopping It Up with Ramel. Y'all have a good day. I appreciate you all tuning in. And see you guys soon. Peace and blessings.